Here we are! This is DJ Barry reading YouTubers' hot takes. If anybody was able to get that reference, then congratulations, you had a good childhood. But yeah, what's up everybody? So last June, I asked you guys in the community tab to leave your hot takes, unpopular opinions on animation. Because, it's honestly an idea that I have for a while to read your guys' different opinions, controversial opinions to be exact. A lot of us could see the fun in that, right? It's fun to see other people's opinions, how controversial and scandalous they might be if they fall under that category of unpopular. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do today, and you guys left me some really interesting hot takes in that community post, and I gathered as much as I can into screenshots, and I'm gonna be reading them. I have them in a folder, so I'm gonna be reading them in like an alphabetical order based on the username. So yeah, enough introduction. Let's get on with reading your hot takes on animation. So the first one comes from 1234 Studios, saying that Cartoon Network's Mad is underrated and needs more attention. Yes, I agree. Mad is definitely a really good show. I remember enjoying it quite a lot during the early 2010s, and I know a common criticism against it is that, yeah, it is a time capsule of that time period, but if you want a really good family-friendly alternative to Robot Chicken, then Mad is the show for you. And being the huge pop culture nerd that I am, it is gratifying to see those different references and jokes and parodies being made throughout those different sketches of varying animation styles. And also, I really love the Spy vs. Spy shorts. Of course, those are also the highlights of the original Mad TV sketch comedy as well. So yeah, I definitely agree that Mad deserves more attention. It was really funny, and I ought to rewatch it sometime. The next one I got here is from Boogal19, saying that Back at the Barnyard is a guilty pleasure of mine. It's a stupid show, but it was actually really funny. I couldn't help it. Steve Odenkirk's humor is kind of my jam. Yeah, I know Back at the Barnyard, it does fall under that category of Nicktoons that were mostly hated back when it first came out, but as years went by, especially with people becoming more and more appreciative of out-of-context clips and nonsensical meme material. Yeah, Back at the Barnyard has been getting more appreciation from those who grew up with it. Me personally, I think the show was okay at best. The theme song for sure is catchy, but I never really care for Back at the Barnyard myself, or for that matter, the movie that the show is based on. But I will tell you one thing I do like about Back at the Barnyard that is a pretty big meme, at least back in around 2017, which was...
Hey folks, viewer mail time again! Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14. Dear Pig, aren't you interrupting the story at the most suspenseful part? Well, the answer is yes, Sally. Yes, I am. Keep those cards and letters coming!
So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, Blue Gal 19. That Back at the Barnyard is kind of worth checking out if you're in the mood for some silly, stupid humor. And you bring up Steve Odenkirk, and I'll just briefly mention one thing from him that doesn't get talked about much is those thumb short films that he will make. Basically parodies of movies like Titanic and Frankenstein, and with it's these thumbs with real human eyes and lips onto them. I remember watching those about 10 years ago. I especially like the Franken thumb one. But yeah, Yeah, again, I get what you're saying when you're saying that Steve Owen Kirk's humor is kind of your jam. Up next, we got Breakin' 10 saying, Scrappy-Doo is an amazing cartoon character and doesn't deserve all the hate he gets. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really have that much of a genuine, unironic hatred for Scrappy. Well, at most, I kind of find the hatred for Scrappy to be funny. Like, who could forget about that one Cartoon Network bumper where Scrappy is just expressing his anger over how the cartoon characters of that period, like Dexter and Johnny Bravo, are overshadowing Scrappy and his pals. And yeah, of course, there's also the joke in Mystery Incorporated where Daphne and Fred see a statue of Scrappy, and then Fred was like, no, Daphne, we swore that we will not talk about him ever again. But to be honest, yeah, Scrappy is fun to hate, but I don't have any, like, real disdain for him. But I also recommend watching this pretty cool video talking about how Scrappy was created in the first place and how he pretty much saved the Scooby-Doo franchise from being cancelled. So yeah, Scrappy, love him or hate him, he does hold some importance to the cause of Scooby's franchise being as long running as it is, even though Scrappy himself hasn't appeared officially in the franchise in a really, really long time. Oh, and did you know that apparently he's based on Henry Huck from Looney Tunes? Obviously I'm more of a Henry guy than a Scrappy guy, but just wanted to mention that fact. Alright, we got one from my good pal Kristen Frades. Treasure Planet and Atlantis the Lost Empire should have been franchises. Yeah, I know those two Disney films have extremely large cult followings as far as the 2000s Disney animated canon films go. Out of the two, I do enjoy Treasure Planet the most. Atlantis, it was decent. I'll probably have to rewatch it. For sure, one of my favorite things about it is Cree Summer as Princess Kida. Yeah, and I know that with Treasure Planet and Atlantis, those are the two films that are often suggested that, hey Disney, why don't you make a live-action remake on these two? You know, they're not normally considered to be the best, like, they're not critically acclaimed like the top 4 Disney Renaissance movies, which, you know, are mostly perfect, but, you know, Treasure Planet and Atlantis, they have they're good, but they do have their flaws, and they do lend themselves for material that could be replicated in live-action CGI spectacular stuff. Yeah, I know there was supposed to be a sequel to Treasure Planet, but that was cancelled after the movie bombed. And Atlantis was going to have a TV show, but that was cancelled, and the most we got was that direct-to-video sequel, Milo's Return, which I couldn't finish it, I'm sorry, it was just too boring. Like, yeah, you have a good idea there, Kristen. Disney should be acknowledging those two more. Like, they do seem to be kind of aware of their huge cult followings. So yeah, maybe they should revisit those movies and probably retool them to make them a bit more marketable so they won't bomb again. Like, with whatever new interpretation that they could make with those movies. Crazy Imp's Twisted Tunes says, Stuckums and Meat is a cartoon that's so bad it's good. Yeah, to be honest, Stuckums and Meat is pretty decent at best, at least the segments of Stuckums and Meat themselves, because that's what I've mostly watched. I watched maybe a bit of the other segments like Piff Possum, and even then I mostly remember it for that attractive journalist, that blonde journalist named Doris Deer. She's pretty fine looking, even though her design is kind of a ripoff of Hello Nurse from Animaniacs. But I don't really remember checking out the other segment, Text 10 Star. All I know is that it's a cowboy with the voice of Johnny Bravo. But with Snookums and Meat, yes, it is definitely, there's no denying that it is Disney's answer to Ren and Stimpy's huge success back in the 90s. Although, it's justified in that a lot of Ren and Stimpy crew members actually did lend a hand in making Snookums and Meat. Yeah, that's something that I don't know what people realize, but these shows that are considered to be Ren and Stimpy ripoffs, like Cow and Chicken and Two Stupid Dogs and this show, Snookums and Meat, part of why they so much influence from Ren and Stimpy is, crew members from that show worked on those shows. Like David Feist, the creator of Cow and Chicken, was an animator on Ren and Stimpy during its first season. He even worked on a pilot episode. And I think Donovan Cook, the creator of Two Stupid Dogs, he worked on that show too. But yeah, you see what I mean? Like love it or hate it, Ren and Stimpy is undeniably a huge influence in the animation industry since the 90s. But yeah, going back to what you're saying about Snookums and Meat, it's not really a great show, but of the what I see, it's fine. It's fine at best. I do like the character designs of the two main characters themselves, and probably my favorite episode is the one where Snookums and Meat are basically fighting each other through their brains, increasing their intelligence. I made a YouTube poop based on that episode a really long time ago, like when I first started this channel. Alrighty, so the next unpopular opinion comes from Daniel Lopez Lima, and it's a simple one. I hate, or rather I dislike, the amazing world of Gumball. Can't really argue much with that. I mean, of course, the amazing world of Gumball is a really popular, acclaimed series, like one of the most acclaimed series to come out of Cartoon Network in the 2010s, when the Renaissance started with Adventure Time and Regular Show and so forth. And I'm a fan of it too, even though it's been like a really long time since I actually actively kept up with the show, but I do know that it does love to make meta jokes, not unlike certain other Cartoon Network shows, but yeah, the reason why I say that I can't really argue much on you disliking the Amazing World of Gumball is, it's your opinion. If there are some things you don't like about the show, then that's fine. Although Daniel, if you are watching this, I highly recommend properly elaborating in the comments section why exactly you don't like the Amazing World of Gumball. I'm curious to hear it, but again, it's okay if you're not a fan of it. EJ Toon says, I hate Homer and Lisa on Ice. I can't really comment much on this opinion because I probably should have rewatched that episode of The Simpsons before I read this, but yeah, I do remember watching that episode of The Simpsons, but I don't particularly remember exactly how Homer acted. In fact, though, if you don't mind, I might just bring up my Simpsons episode guide. And just refresh myself on the episode summary here. So basically, in the episode guide, it's mentioned in Lisa on Ice that Homer lavishes tension on Lisa, making Bart feel jealous. So yeah, basically, I assume the reason why you don't like it is basically because of how Homer is putting all of this attention on Lisa, and just making Bart jealous. And just reading that bit of the summary reminds me of I know it's sort of a similar controversy with the season 9 episode Lisa's Sax, which tells the backstory of Lisa getting her first saxophone. But there's also the subplot of Bart not having a good time in daycare or something like that. Again, that's another episode I have to rewatch. But yeah, I hope I still answered your unpopular opinion to the best of my abilities at this moment, EJ Tunes. But yeah, I definitely have some Simpsons rewatching to do.
Just remember to have fun out there today, and if you lose, I'll kill you!
Okay, Franco Lopez Quintana says, I like post-movie SpongeBob. Yes, thank you. I could be here all day just talk about how post-movie SpongeBob, well, more specifically, post-first movie SpongeBob, has a lot of great episodes. But even the one that first aired after the first movie, Fear of a Krabby Patty, is a masterpiece. It's a really good swan song of C.H. Greenblatt, before he left to work at Cartoon Network, working on Billy and Mandy, Evil Concarde, and then eventually doing Chowder. Yeah, that episode has some beautiful facial expressions that you can hardly find in any other SpongeBob episode. But again, I'll basically be here all day saying that post-first movie SpongeBob does have some gems and some overhated episodes, like for example, House Fancy from Season 6. Y'all just hate that episode because of that damn toenail scene, which I personally find to be hilarious. Because why would Squidward have a toenail to begin with? So, yeah, okay, I guess the criticism of it being filler, I guess it is valid, but I don't know, just that one visual gag overshadows the rest of that episode of House Fancy. It's an episode where Squidward wins. He wins against Squilliam Fancy Son. Well, obviously, it's not a masterpiece like Band Geeks, but, still a nice, rare time where Squidward actually wins in the end. Even though SpongeBob and Patrick still screw up, as usual. But, yeah, I do love seasons 4, 5, and 6, and I sort of like season 7, and, well, to be honest, probably my least favorite season of SpongeBob is 8. But yeah, again, I don't want to go too long on this topic, but yeah, definitely agree with you, Franco, that post-movie SpongeBob is good. Okay, so Game Tune is saying that they really like the GIF that I use in that community post with Homer sinking into a background of popcorn, based on that famous meme from the episode Homer Loves Flanders. And Game 2 has an opinion of his own, saying it does have to do with The Simpsons, by the way. Honestly, it hasn't aged that well. It started a lot of the trends that plague adult cartoons today, and even the show itself in some ways feels like generic animated sitcom. I don't know if I'd even put it in my top 15 adult cartoons. Honestly, no doubt there are many classic episodes though. Yeah, there is this trope called Seinfeld is unfunny, which basically means something comes out and it's so revolutionary, there's hardly anything like it, so it generates all these imitators to the point where that original thing that they're imitating, well sure, it could still be considered good, it's just not as shocking or as special as it once was. And yeah, definitely The Simpsons is an example of that. Since the 90s, it has spawned some other adult cartoons that have taken some influence from it, if not a lot of influence from it. From Family Guy to South Park to King of the Hill to American Dad to, of course, Mac Braden's other show, Futurama. We could go on. And it has gone to the point where even with The Simpsons itself, I've even watched a video essay mentioning this, but ever since it spawned all these other adult cartoons that try to copy its ability to create some really good satire. The Simpsons started to imitate those imitators. So overall, yeah, it's okay if you do feel that way about the Game Tune. I know, of course, just like every other cartoon style for everybody. But yeah, I get where you're coming from, in which the Simpsons influence is both a blessing and a curse. Alright, we got a couple from Guy5678. 2000s cartoons are better than 90s cartoons. Ed, Edd and Eddy's finale was pretty bad. Season 9 is the best season of My Little Pony, Friends of Its Magic. And B-Movie is unironically hilarious. Okay, to talk about the first one, I won't say they're necessarily better, but yeah, there are definitely a lot of 2000s cartoons that are on similar levels of great as the 90s shows. Like, I'm a 2000s kid, so I honestly do partially stand by what you said about how there are 2000s cartoons that are as great as the 90s ones. Like, even like with my underrated cartoons, my favorite underrated cartoons, for example, like most of them, my top ones are from the 2000s, from As Told by Ginger to Evil Con Carne to Baby Blues to Wayside to Teacher's Pet, Void in Space, O'Grady, Braceface, so on and so forth. You can watch my video about that if you like. Again, I don't say that they're overall 100% great than the 90s, but there are 2000s cartoons are on par with the 90s. And your opinion on Ed, Edd and Eddy's finale, yeah, I saw Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture show myself. I'm not a humongous Ed, Edd and Eddy fan to begin with, but I thought the Big Picture show was a pretty good movie on its own, and I'm not exactly sure why you think it's bad. Maybe I'll make an assumption and say that maybe it has something to do with the final scene in which suddenly the cul-de-sac kids who are known for bullying the Eds, all of a sudden they decided to help them out, like when Eddie's brother shows up and he proves himself to be like an even bigger jerk than any of those cul-de-sac kids. Again, I'm not exactly sure the reason why you don't like Ed and Eddy's finale. Please elaborate in the comments if you're watching this. But I thought it was fine. Season 9 of My Little Pony, I don't really watch My Little Pony Friends of Its Magic, so I have no say on the 9th season. And B-Movie is unironically hilarious. Yes, B-Movie, which is gonna be 15 years old soon. I remember when it first came out, I had no thoughts about it, but it was only when it became a meme a few years ago was when I was joining in on the fun of this absurd premise of Jerry Seinfeld as a bee who basically sues humanity for making profit off of the bees' honey or something like that. But yeah, I do like B-Movie for at least its memes. I know there are a lot of people who really don't like it, who generally think it's a bad movie, but yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it's mostly worth watching for the meme factor. Johnny the Object City is mentioning about a show called Johan the Young Scientist. It's unpopular and good. Yeah, I had to Google what this show is about because I never heard of it and haven't checked it out for myself yet, but maybe it is good. MobyFan12 says Futurama is greater than modern Simpsons. To be honest with you, I don't feel like that's much of an unpopular opinion. Like, a lot of people will agree that Futurama is greater than The Simpsons after The Simpsons' 9th season or 10th season. Well, it depends on what you classify as modern Simpsons. Like, when exactly did the show possibly a decline in quality. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people who think that Futurama overall is better than The Simpsons, period. Even if I know Futurama has its own controversies with how it declined in quality after it returned from cancellation when Comedy Central brought it back in 2007. But it's still considered to be like more consistently good than The Simpsons, probably because it did have a shorter lifespan. But of course it is coming back on Hulu. And has anybody seen the news about the different episode titles they revealed? Yeah, I'm mildly hyped up for the Futurama revival. Since Hulu is not here in Canada, it's most likely going to be on Disney Plus through the Stars channel. Okay, let's take a little breather from reading all of those unpopular opinions. Just want to take the time and remind you, if you're enjoying this video so far, to hit the like button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so that I can reach my goal of 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And also, don't hesitate to leave your own unpopular opinions down in the comments. If you haven't left your unpopular opinions in that community post, you could do so here under this video, and maybe I'll do another one in which I read those extra unpopular opinions that I got under this comment section here.
To be continued.
Ooh, I hope I live.